Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, and welcome back to the AFI project. And boy oh boy, what a movie I'm talking about today. Today I'm going to be talking about Do the Right Thing. This was written and directed by Spike Lee, who would go on to direct movies like He Got Game and BlacKkKlansman, among others. And it starred Danny Aiello, Spike Lee himself, Ossie Davis, and Giancarlo Esposito, among many others. It tells the story of a neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York, and, well, the racial tension that is going on throughout. All of the events primarily take place in or around this pizzeria named Sal's. Sal, the owner, played by Danny Aiello, just is trying to make an honest day's work. Among his employees is Mookie, played by Spike Lee himself, and his two sons, one of which is played by John Turturro. This takes place in the hottest day of the year, and, well, everything starts off kind of normally, but by the end, things go to hell in a handbasket like that. Spike Lee is one of those filmmakers that I don't have a ton of experience with, not for any profound reason other than I just haven't come around to any of his films yet. Again, nothing profound, I haven't really had time to. But with the AFI project, I knew that I was going to get to this movie eventually, and I really didn't know what to make of it, because this was my first time watching this. And whoa, I was not prepared. I'm just going to talk about what I liked, spoiler alert, it's a lot, in a non-spoiler fashion. Firstly, my favorite character in the movie was Mookie, played by Lee. He's honestly a pretty underrated actor. He's known for his directing stuff, but I'm honestly a little surprised that he hasn't dipped more into the acting pool. But in any case, he is the best part of this movie, like I said. He plays a character that is very centered and aware of the racial stuff going on, but he's got his own problems that he's got to deal with. He has a young son, a girlfriend that low-key kinda hates him, and the job at Sal's doesn't pay nearly enough, so he's got a lot of stuff he's got to deal with. Something that I notice with movies and matters like this involving race is that there is a clear good guy and a clear bad guy, meaning the racists. But what I noticed throughout is that there's actually a lot of nuance to everything. Literally, there are no shades of white and black. Everything kind of runs in a shade of gray. Everyone in this movie does questionable things to the point where you like them one second and you don't like them the next. I can say the only character that I outright hated was John Turturro, for the simple reason that there is a scene in which Mook takes him off to the side and he's like, "Who's your favorite basketball player?" And he's like, "Magic Johnson." "Who's your favorite movie star?" "Eddie Murphy." Who's your favorite musician?" It's Prince. And it's Bruce, and it's Prince. Why do I bring this all up? Well, Turturro's character likes all three of those black people, but is very degrading to the rest of them, because he holds them up to a higher standard because they're famous, I guess. There is a lot to unpack there, I imagine, but I just didn't like him. I thought he was an ass. Not John Turturro himself, he is a great actor, but the character himself. I'm sure you know what I mean. The whole linchpin surrounding the narrative here is that a character named Buggin' Out, played by Giancarlo Esposito, basically looks at his wall of fame and is like, "Where's all the black people?" And Sal is like, "That wall is reserved for Italian Americans, nothing more." There's a whole subplot in which Buggin' Out plans a boycott of Sal's, and the entire time I was thinking to myself, you could just wait a couple years until you open up your chicken place and go into competition against him. Yeah, that's a Breaking Bad joke. There's also a lot of other smaller characters that I really enjoyed, but I feel like down the road I want to make a longer, in-depth video talking about this, so I'll just touch on them here. This was the film debut of Martin Lawrence and Rosie Perez, and they're both great in their smaller roles. Martin Lawrence would become a famous stand-up comic and star in movies like the Bad Boys movies, and I learned that Rosie Perez actually won a couple of Emmys for her work as a choreographer on In Living Color, which is a fantastic sketch show and it launched Jim Carrey. So that's great. And then you have one of my other favorite characters, DeMayer, played by Ozzie Davis. I love this character. I just love Ozzie Davis in general. Like, he was a phenomenal actor. And that goes double here. He has a great monologue in which some of the younger people are like, "Oh, you don't know what it's like out here, old man." And he just goes into one of those, like... If it were any other actor, it'd be a super cringy, like, "we live in a society" rant. But here, it carries a lot of weight. And then, like I said, the third act in this movie... oh boy, it is a lot. Like I said, I will not be spoiling it, but let's just say it starts off one way, and then it goes completely the other way, and it's so hard to watch, but weirdly compelling all at once. In my research, I found that the whole reason for this movie existing is that Spike Lee was watching Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Specifically the episode called Shopping for Death, in which it posits the theory of as things get hotter, people get more irritable and angry. And considering this movie takes place on the hottest day of the year, yeah, I can totally see that happening. This movie does feel like a Hitchcock movie. It just builds and builds and builds and builds to just a massive explosion. And at the end of the day, I can't say that I enjoyed watching this movie. I enjoyed all the performances, dialogue's really good, surprisingly good cinematography, and the soundtrack I like. I'm just a fan of Public Enemy, what can I say? But I recommend this more as like a mandatory kind of viewing, because I recommend you all see this at least once, just because, well, some of the plot lines in this movie have scary relevance to this very day, which is unfortunate, but hey, that's the world we live in. And at a certain point, I thought, okay, this is going to be the ending, and my mind is blown. But then there's I want to say an epilogue, in which a lot of good things happen, and you're like, okay, that's cool. And the movie ends on quotes from Malcolm X and from Martin Luther King Jr., and that kind of levels off some of the pressure, I suppose. I recommend you all check this out at least once, just for the sake of seeing it. I can't recommend this movie enough, just saying that you saw it. That is all from me, you guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Next time on the AFI Project, we are going from a very realistic drama about racial tensions to a super futuristic movie about crime, and it is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is 1982's Blade Runner. But if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and that's the double truth, Ruth.